Hello there, fellow teachers! Welcome back to my channel. This time, magkakaroon tayo ng presentation about the Classroom Observation Tool RPMS for Proficient teachers in the time of COVID-19 pandemic for school year 2021-2022. Again, fellow teachers, medyo matagal tayong hindi nakapag-upload since nga medyo na busy tayo sa ibang bagay. Nagkakaroon din ako ng ML live stream. So, forgive me for that. And this time, I will be presenting to you what are the needed data or what are the indicators for this school year, kung ano ang gagawin natin to complete the 37 strands for the PPST. So, this is the COT RPMS Teacher 1 to 3 rating sheet. Again, meron ding observer, teacher observe. Observer, syempre, halimbawa ako ang principal. Then date, kung kailan ako nag-observe. Teacher observe, kung sino yung inobserbahan ko. The quarter, the subject and grade level thought. And the observations. Kasi for this school year, meron tayong dalawang observation ang required para sa ating RPMS, dalawang COT. So, directions for the observer: rate each item on the checklist according to how well the teacher performed during the classroom observation. Mark the appropriate column with a check symbol. Each indicator is assessed on an individual basis, regardless of its relationship to the indicators to other indicators. Number 3, for schools with only one observer, this form will serve as the final rating. Okay, so fellow teachers, meron kayong 9 indicators for the RPMS rating sheet this time. So ano-ano nga ba ang nilalaman ng mga indicators na yun? At ano-ano ang hahanapin para magkaroon ng rate of 7? I-discuss ko mamaya. So again, kaming mga observers, meron kaming binabasehan. Hindi lamang itong RPMS na COT, meron din kaming another tool na ginagamit for us to rate a teacher from 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 or not observe. Okay? So, the first indicator is apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. Again, last school year, every year parang meron itong indicator na ito. Apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. But fellow teachers, pag nagbigay kami ng 7, ang ibig sabihin yan, the teacher applies accurate, in-depth. Okay? Accurate, in-depth, and broad knowledge of content within and across the curriculum teaching areas. That creates a conducive learning environment that enables an in-depth and sophisticated understanding of the teaching and learning process to most individual or group learning needs within and across curriculum teaching areas. Again, fellow teachers, please be reminded that when we give a rate of 7, meaning nakita namin sa teachers na nag-apply siya ng accurate, meaning tamang-tama, in-depth, malalim, and broad knowledge of content and pedagogy. Okay? Kaya be happy because pag nakita ng isang observer, ng isang rater sa iyo na ganyan, meron kang rate of 7, that is the highest point for a proficient teachers, and indeed you deserve such kind of rating if you have presented this kind of indicator in your topic, in your lesson delivery. So, cite for example, pag nakita naming ang guro or the teacher applies extensive knowledge of content beyond his or her area of specialization, meaning masobra pa sa kung saan expert ang guro, nagbigay pa siya ng masobra pa doon, meaning pumunta siya sa ibang specialization without hesitation, without hirap kung ano ba ang mararanasan ng isang guro na medyo nahihirapan sa isang subject. you will be given 7 points dyan pag hindi kayo, pag ipinakita nyo yan. And another is, pag ang guro ay na-motivate ang learners to investigate the teaching area to expand their knowledge and satisfy their curiosity. Yan ang rate of 7 na hinahanap ng rater. Kaya, again, be reminded of those, what we call this one, na mga hinahanap ng rater sa guro. Okay? Pag meron kayong halimbawa sa 3, pag nagbigay kami ng 3, meaning may nakita kaming minor content errors. Okay? Minor content errors ang nakita namin sa inyong mga kapaguro. Okay? Pag meron kami nakitang minor, meaning 3 ang ibibigay namin. Kasi pag 3 ang rating, the teacher demonstrates minor content errors either in presenting the lesson or in responding to learners' question or comments. 'Di ba? Pag nagtanong yung ating mga learners, dapat sinasagot agad natin ng tama, nag-respond tayo ng tama, at saka hindi natin napagalitan, mga ganyan, something tama ang ating ginawa para sa ano. So, 3 ang score ninyo dyan. But if you will display an accurate, in-depth knowledge of content and pedagogy, we will give you a rate of 7. Okay? Pedagogy means the method and practice of teaching. Pag sinabing accurate, meaning error-free. Pag sinabing in-depth, meaning foundational knowledge and finer details within the curriculum teaching areas. Okay? Pag sinabing broad knowledge, ito yung sa 7, ginadiscuss ko lang ha. Knowledge across curriculum teaching areas. Broad. Knowledge across curriculum teaching areas. Next, number 2, display proficient use of mother tongue, Filipino, and English to facilitate teaching and learning. Okay? Last school years, wala ito. Ngayon lang ito meron. Pero ginagawa ito ng mga guro. Hindi pa man dumating ang RPMS indicator na number 2 na ito. Ginagawa nyo na ito, mga kaguro ko. Okay? Bakit nyo ginagawa? Kasi minsan, based on my observation, ang guro, previous observations hindi pa ito nakarating na observation. Ang guro, pag nagtanong ang bata sa English, nagbibigay siya ng Tagalog translation, nagbibigay siya ng MTB translation. And that what it means. Okay? Pag gusto mo ng rate ng 7, you should have been able to consistently handle class discussions in any of the mediums of instruction, mother tongue, Filipino, English, with linguistic ease, confidence, and competence in complex communicative tasks. Okay, fellow teachers? So, pag 7 din ang rating mo, the teacher displays advanced, high sub-level proficiency in the use of mother tongue and Filipino and or English extensively facilitate teaching and learning, including probing questions and feedback. Again, cite for example, the teacher use of mother tongue and or Filipino or English demonstrates a well-developed ability in using communication strategies such as code switching and translation. Again, remember, code switching and translation. Pag halimbawa, nagtanong ang bata kung anong ibig sabihin ng isang salita sa Ingles, gitranslate ng teacher sa Tagalog or sa Filipino, at gitranslate din ito sa MTB. Well, for me, that is enough. Okay? That is enough. But you have to display it consistently with advanced, high sub-level proficiency. Number 3. Use effective verbal and non-verbal classroom communication strategies to support learner understanding, participation, engagement, and achievement. Ito din, fellow teachers, ginagawa nyo din ito. Hindi nyo lang alam na tama pala ang ginagawa nyo. Very concrete example nito is, 'di ba? Parang artista din ang guro sa loob ng classroom. Parang artista din kayo kasi pag sinabi niyong happy, yung mukha ng guro, happy din. Lisod pod. Mahirap din naman if sinabi ng guro, we are happy. Tapos, sad ang voice. Tapos, sad ang mukha. But, if you are really a teacher, when you say happy, you really meant it with the words, with a tone of voice, with the intonation, with facial expression. That is what we call verbal and non-verbal classroom communication. Then you can attain a rate of 7 if the teacher uses variety of verbal and non-verbal. Of course, kahit na hindi pa ito nasa indicator ng ating RPMS, PPST, I don't know kung sa inyo meron ito. But in my case, marami na akong nakitang guro na ganito ang ginagawa. And it is very common to them to have this verbal and non-verbal communication to their learners. And indeed, it's very effective. I hope you fellow teachers, meron din ganyan. And hindi pa ako nakakita so far ng guro na nagturo na yung verbal and non-verbal communication niya ay magkaiba. Nagkakasama talaga yan. Very, very, what we call this, yung mga guro talaga artista sa loob ng classroom. Napaka-artista. Kahit na sad yan galing sa bahay nila, pagdating sa classroom, happy yang nagtuturo. Kasi nga, we are teachers and we have to show what we are teaching. Okay? Number 4. Reminders lang po. Opinion ko lang po ito. Opinion ko lang ito, yung ibang sinasabi ko. That's my opinion and that's how I observe my teachers. Okay? That's how I observe my teachers. Not all are this kind, but I am having a basis for that. We have this Appendix 3A of the COT RPMS. Diyan kami kumukuha ng basis paano kami mag-rate. Number 4, establish a safe and secure learning environment to enhance learning through the consistent implementation of policies, guidelines, and procedure. Ano ito? Again, fellow teachers, wala pa mang indicator na ito sa PPST or sa RPMS ninyo. Makikita pa rin ito sa mga guro by simply giving instructions. Again, sa indicator, sa aming binabasihan, dapat the teacher consistently implement safety policies, guidelines, and procedures to regularly maintain a safe and secure learning environment to enhance individual and group learning. Again, fellow teachers, in this time of COVID, before, mapapansin ko ito sa aking mga guro pag magsabi silang, exchange your paper clockwise, sit up straight, sit up properly, return the books to where kung saan nyo kinuha. Okay, so, paano kami magbigay ng rating dito sa number 4? Okay? Magbibigay kami ng 3 if the teacher rarely implements, meaning seldom occurs. Magbibigay kami ng 4 if the teacher occasionally, meaning irregularly occurs. Magbibigay kami ng 5 if the teacher frequently, meaning often occurs. Magbibigay kami ng 6 if the teacher generally implements. Generally meaning normally occurs. Magbibigay kami ng 7 if the teacher consistently, meaning constantly occurs. So, dear fellow teachers, if in every activity, in every situation, you are consistently implementing safety policies, guidelines, and procedures, I will give you 7. For me, I will be giving 7. Hindi mahirap sa akin magbigay ng 7 sa lahat ng teachers ko. Okay? Pag nakita ko ang indicators na ito na present sa inyo, especially this time of pandemic, siguro ang palaging sasabihin ng teachers, wear your face mask, keep distance, or sanitize your hands, mga ganyan. That's all. Para yun na ang tinatawag nating mga policies and guidelines na sinusod or procedures na ginagawa sa loob ng classroom. We don't need a very difficult or a very crucial policies and guidelines na hindi maintindihan ng mga bata. Simply by giving instructions to sanitize their hands, to wear their face mask, that's all enough. But remember, you have to do it rarely, occasionally, frequently, generally, or consistently. Not all the time, sabihin mo na face mask. You can have another policies, another guidelines, another rules, or procedures na gagawin sa loob ng classroom. Cite for example, exchange your paper clockwise, yung mga noong panahon, ganyan. So, my dear fellow teachers, you are very, you have that initiative. Meron kayong sariling pamamaraan sa loob ng inyong classroom, and that is indeed correct. Do not think that it's not right. Do not think that what you're doing inside your classroom is not correct or is not good for the learners, because you as a teacher inside the classroom knows how to run your classroom. Okay, number 5. Maintain learning environments that promote fairness, respect, and care to encourage learning. Okay? The teacher promotes, pag magbibigay ako ng 7, ito ang hahanapin ko ha. The teacher promotes a supportive and nurturing environment where all learners feel accepted, encouraged to learn, and free to take learning tasks. Okay? Hahanapin ko pa rin dito ang occasionally, generally, consistently. Then, yung mga fairness, respect, care. Ang care sa mga teachers. Sometimes, meron akong observations kasi nga hindi naman lahat nakaupo ako. Minsan padaan-daan lang ako sa loob ng classroom. Minsan nasisigawan natin ang mga bata. Remember, we have to take care of the learners. Attention or the consideration to others. Okay? Next. You are encouraging learning if you are doing a lot of activities. You are respecting and caring the learners by simply calling their names, simply giving them direction to promote fairness, calling all of them, not only those who raise their hands, and supporting what their ideas are, and directing it towards if it's not that good idea, well, direct it to make it a good idea so that the learner may know how to direct an idea into a correct ones. Okay? Number 6. So, out of 9, number 6 na tayo. Medyo nahihirapan ako, fellow teachers. Bakit sino ba nagsabi sa akin na magawa ako nito no? Tapos mahihirapan lang pala ako. No, I am giving this for you for some clarification. And again, it's only an opinion. It's only my opinion with some basis. Not all are on a legal basis, but it's on my opinion based on how I observe my teachers. Number 6, maintain learning environments that nurture and inspire learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate in continued learning. Again, the teacher consistently provides varied learning opportunities which are well aligned with the learner's individual or group learning needs and engages learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate in continued learning. Okay? Now, when we say collaborative, we have the principles of collaborative learning. Cooperate and collaborate in continued learning. So, when we say collaborative, heterogeneous grouping, mixed abilities, mixed gender and interdependence. Dito na rin papasok yung yung individual activities, meron grouping activities na tinatawag na differentiated activities. Differentiated strategies. Pwede na dito. Okay? So, next, number 7, apply a range of successful strategies that maintain learning environments that motivate learners to work productively by assuming responsibility for their own. Magbibigay ako ng rating ng 7 if the teacher consistently applies strategies which are well aligned with the learner's individual and group learning needs. Okay? And motivates them to work productively and be responsible for their own learning. Yan, fellow teachers. For example, ang yung strategies is less than half, more than half, almost approaching, or loosely associated, somewhat aligned, usually aligned, and well aligned. Okay, number 8, design, adopt, and implement teaching strategies that are responsive to learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. Okay, learners with disability, giftedness, and talents. These are the persons, number 1, who are gifted or talented, and those who have physical, mental, social, or sensory impairment and cultural differences. These persons may be gifted or talented, fast learner, mentally retarded, visually impaired, hearing impaired. Yung mga ginadiscuss sa atin, sa ating, sa BAS nakikita din ito. So, if the teacher is very responsive or as design and adopt or implement teaching strategies to adopt those kinds of, what we call this one, giftedness, talents, and etc., the teacher employs extensive ang pagbigay ng teaching strategies dyan sa mga, my dear fellow teachers, magbibigay ako ng 7. We have this extensive, somewhat, partially, variety, educability. Yan ang mga basis ko. Number 9, the last one, adopt and use culturally appropriate teaching strategies to address the needs of learners for IP. Of course, my dear fellow teachers, siguro sa inyong lugar walang IP pero sa amin meron. So, the teacher should not wag walain sa sistema yung mag-adopt and gumamit tayo ng culturally appropriate teaching strategies. Kaya nga lumabas yung contextualization na memorandum kasi meron yung dalawang degree, yung localization at yung indigenization na tinatawag. Pag sinabi nating localization, you are giving examples based on the community context. Especially if you're giving an IP example, makaka-relate ang mga bata dyan. Makikita namin yan sa contextualization strategies niyo. But if you are to redesign or you are to mag-edit kayo ng ating competency, you are indigenizing. And my dear fellow teachers, the minority should not be left behind. If they are the minority, then they should not be left behind. We should give importance also to them because they are all learners and they all have the rights to learn. Again, fellow teachers, welcome back to my channel, and please do not hesitate to message me if I can answer your questions, but if not, I'm so sorry. And hoping for more videos from the Department of Education, and then support also my hobby, which is the Mobile Legends. I am not it's just a hobby. Again, fellow teachers, this is your school head saying good day.